All right, guys, here we're going to talk about Season 2, Episode 3, School Hard.
With a vengeance.
Yes. So this episode starts off with, like, you know, pretty much Buffy is in trouble off the jump.
Yeah, we introduced like what I'll call the B plot, which is parent-teacher night, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So Buffy is in the principal's office with the other bad student in the school, and they're trying to see who's the worst one, and whoever wins, loses, gets expelled.
Expulsion, yes.
I like this because it poses some weird questions that I wonder here. Where, like, yes, Buffy's had some problems in the past. She's burned down a gym, but it may have been mice that smoke. Who's to say?
Sheila has never burnt down a school building.
Well, that was never proven. The fire marshal said it could have been mice.
Mice.
Mice that were smoking?
But it says here, like, you miss a lot of classes. That we know. She ditches quite a bit. Does she often start a lot of fights? That's another thing she's accused of. And I don't really recall, at least on screen, her getting in trouble for really any fighting. So I think that's a funny thing to call it, because, like, they make her seem like she's this worst student, and maybe she's not doing good academically, but that wouldn't land you in the office. The ditching would.
Yeah, I assume that we're meant to believe that she's taking the heat from some of the things that are happening because she's there. Or people saw her do a thing, or running from one place to another.
No, and she has, like, you know, held a stake on people like Cordelia and done things like that.
And, like, the principal has it out for her too.
For sure.
Established that, so all good.
It struck me as odd because the other person is someone that stabbed a teacher, and you're like, wait a minute, how are you even remotely in the same ballpark as that girl? Expel her immediately.
I love his line of, like, and, you know, if you even have parents, they're gonna meet your teachers. If you even have any teachers left, because you've been, like, stabbing them, I'm like, oh, geez.
Well, meet your teachers, assuming you have any left.
That's different. Yes.
Certainly. To not, like, you know, jump away from things that are established in this episode, while we're talking about Mr. Snyder here, Principal Snyder to his friends, he apparently knows about, like, everything that's going on.
Okay, good. We'll wrap this at the end. You know, it's like, what do you mean? Tell him the truth? I just think of Quark now. I can't stop thinking of him. Whatever.
Why would
but he's just like, what do you mean? Tell him the truth? And the cop's like, got it. PCP again.
So, you want the usual story? Gang-related PCP?
What you have in mind, the truth?
But it's an interesting point of saying here. We're like, okay, so the police and the school district are in on it, and that could explain some things as to why there's not just, like, how are you, you know, losing a student a week and still running a school? No,
and, like, it explains Snyder, like, de-emphasizing. He's like, no one dies on my watch. It's like, several people. What are you talking about? Several people have died, right? I am curious, and I'm not going to look at you once again, about what it is that they're in on exactly. I doubt they know about the Hellmouth, because then they should know about a Slayer or, like, other stuff, and they should know, wait, maybe someone is here to help or something, or Giles, or there'd be some I'd be shocked if there's just two separate factions both working the Hellmouth, but we'll find out, I guess, in the future episodes and stuff. But that's great. I love that. I would still question some stuff that he's doing, where he's like, we gotta leave, or we gotta do this, or everyone.
No, he's internet ass in any way you stroke anything here.
Good. Just checking.
Yes. We also get the introduction of Drusilla and Spike in this episode.
Me and Drew, we're moving in.
I was gonna say,
two very fun characters.
That's the A plot. It's the Spike episode.
Yes.
And they didn't make one Spike the Punch joke, which I was waiting for the whole time, because they had Punch, and they kept talking about this lemonade.
Really, they had bad lemonade.
Yes, but she called it that, and I was like, aha! It's a perfect setup. Joss Whedon would love this, and we never do it. It's the worst.
Low-hanging fruit.
No. Throw
the
whole
it's so low that it's high?
In the trap. Yeah, it's perfect. They should have worked it in. I love Spike. I, like, remembered Spike. I thought he came in much later, like, season-wise. So I don't know if he takes a break, but I won't look at you for spoilers again.
I love his entrance as he drives over the Welcome to Sunnydale sign. I think that's fantastic. I love, like, just his vampire look. Like, always a bigger fan of vampire Spike than regular Spike. I think there's something special about, like, his vampire makeup. It makes his face look, like, totally, like, creepier and better.
He looks different. He looks better. Something about the eye makeup or something that they do with him, or, like, the way his face interacts with
They definitely enhance. He has a scar on his eyebrow that, like, he really has. Like, if you've seen him in other things, but they definitely like probably buzz it and, like, enhance it with makeup, because it's clearly bigger. And in the first episode, because, like, they're still, like, working out there, whatever, it's, like, pinker and stuff too. So, like, it really pops as a
I'm a princess.
That's what you are.
Like
Scar
something
there.
happened there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I noticed that, and I thought, like, he doesn't look like that normally, but if he actually has a scar,
Yeah.
that helps me a little bit with that. Because I'm like, why would you do this to him? What's going on?
Yeah, I remember seeing an interview with him where he's like, oh yeah, I told him, oh, I have a scar here. You might fill that in with a little, as they do in most of his things, and they're like, no, accentuate.
The opposite.
Yeah.
More scar. Yeah, no. So I love Spike. I do not know who Drusilla is. I hate her so much.
Really?
And this character is dog shit. I hate every moment that she's on screen or talking or doing anything.
Oh, hers is another one. Her vampire makeup, I think, is one of the most powerful in the series.
Okay.
Something about her face, once you make it up,
Yeah.
it looks just awesome.
Watch with the rest.
No, I
Her
think both of
normal
them.
self, not intimidating at all. She is like a crazy bird. She does her things.
You're like a crazy bird. What are you? He's like an angry pelican. Yeah, no, I think her whole baby-voiced, like, fainting couch detached thing. I hate this character. Maybe more things will happen and I will come around to like her, but I'm just rolling my eyes and just out loud being like, I hate the fuck stop. I just hate everything about this character.
We've just scratched the surface on her, but,
Exactly.
but yes, we've established that she has some powers here and there because she can sense
I
things.
can feel his power from the
Yes.
outside. Normally I have to poke holes. Yeah.
This one has power. I could feel it from the outside.
So I was like, that's cool.
Right.
I on the other side of this coin here, liked this character
You
from
love
the
this
beginning.
guy. No,
I
you
was
said,
like,
yeah.
oh, that's very cool. And of course, Spike from day one, you're like, that guy's awesome. Let's get more of that guy. And the fans also thought that because Spike was only supposed to be a character that was going to be around for a few episodes.
Nice.
And then bam, he's around forever.
Imagine that. Imagine not making a whole season and then releasing it in one day and not being able to respond to your fans over time or anything.
Yeah.
This is great. Yes.
Well, it's huge. Another big one is so the Anointed dies in this one.
This is great.
Spike kills him.
When he calls him the annoying one, I
Yes.
was like, oh, that's wonderful.
How's the annoying one?
But yes, okay. I love that he dies. Part of it feels like we're just cleaning up and we're changing directions still. This is only episode 3, but I still love Joss Whedon and like just good things in general have a way of like making you feel like, okay, this is what's going to happen now for a while. Relax, strap in. We've established, okay, there's this kid with powers and a vampire cult, but now we have this usurper in there. And won't this be fun to? Oh, it's done. It's done. And just like smash it all to bits like before the end of the episode. And I love that idea because I was strapping in like, okay, this is going to be about like him becoming the dude and maybe the anointed one and something else with a master, something else happens, whatever. But they just winched him right up into that very conspicuous beam of light and just destroyed him instantly, and I thought that was very bold and good and cool to do.
Well, he didn't play a very big part in the episode, the Anointed One, and he was slated to be the big bad of the season. But because he's a young child, it's a vampire, he was growing and his voice was changing, and Joss is like, well, this kid's not going to play as what we need him for forever.
Nice.
So, all right. And they kill him off.
I actually didn't know that he was a vampire until he got killed like that. It makes total sense, but I didn't know what being anointed meant. I didn't realize he'd been bitten or who bit him or whatever. Maybe I missed something, but I was like, whatever.
He was on the bus and got attacked by all the vampires.
I thought they just kidnapped him because he was like the special demon child. I didn't realize they made him into a vampire too or whatever. So,
but he's gone now, so no sense in even talking about him any longer.
No, but a great shot. Like the winching, the whole whatever, the whole thing.
I wonder why they even had a cage.
Why'd they have a cage? Whose job is it to fix the windows? That's very dangerous. But you see that very conspicuous beam of light. They must have pumped smoke into that room to get that light to look like that.
Figures. Well, suppose I better go make nice.
Then they winch him up. You don't see it. You just see later the like reverse shot is like through the cage. I was like, this is very well done. This is awesome. I was like cheering, like, great, awesome, great. Spike's in charge now.
I spent a good part of my allowance on this new cream rinse, and it's neither creamy nor rinsey.
Life is hard, dear.
Don't I know it?
I like that one of what I'll say is like the Acolyte says, like, I haven't seen this man since the crucifixion.
When I kill her, it'll be the greatest event since the crucifixion. And I should know. I was there.
Implying that he was alive during his crucifixion. Even Spike calls him out like, if half the people said they were at crucifixion were actually there, it'd be like Woodstock. Yeah. I was at Woodstock.
I was actually at Woodstock. That was a weird gig.
I fed off a flower person, and I spent the next 6 hours watching my hand.
But I think that's funny because we've established how old, like, you know, the master is, and now to say that this guy is potentially thousands of years old, you're like, what?
I'm wondering now.
This chump that he like one punched and just like knocked out.
I'm wondering about the whole thing there.
Oh yeah, no, that guy's full of shit.
No. But even just the relative ages, I don't know how this all works. The master can be reincarnated too, so I don't even know how that
potentially.
Whole thing, well, theoretically, we can get to make do on that. I'm assuming someone dust-panned up all those ground-up bones and has them in a jar later. They can try something.
Someone's smoking
making a smoothie. Oh hell yeah! And then they see his ghost. It's perfect. No. Yeah, I like that too. That's a good intro to him. Spike is a shit talker, and that's great.
Yes. I'm surrounded by idiots.
And I love the whole vibe that he has with everybody.
Yeah. I like it. He has like actual plans. He's killed 2 Slayers that, like, you know, he says aloud at every chance he gets. Because again, a shit talker.
Yeah, I did a couple Slayers in my time. I don't like to brag. Who am I kidding? I love to brag.
He sends one of the other vampires like to die just so he could see like Buffy's fighting style.
Oh, this is amazing.
I thought that was cool.
This whole setup when he walks in, like, someone's outside trying to bite somebody, and then like looks at Buffy and like waits for her.
Someone call the cops.
Yeah.
Where's the phone? I need to call the police. There's some big guy out there trying to bite someone.
But then, like, no one does anything. It's
no, and then he immediately walks away like, I guess it's fine.
Did it? Yeah, I was like, okay. But that is super smooth. That, like, shows a level of, like, intelligence or whatever. Like, everyone else has just been, like, you know, and I will mention something with this later. Everyone else's plan is just, like, vamp out, go full vamp mode, break down the door, and just start fighting. Yeah. And I'm like, this doesn't work. Why don't you do something smart? And it's like,
but while it displayed intelligence to definitely feel out your enemy, to immediately clap and say, I'm here, I'm going to kill you on Saturday.
Who are you?
You'll find out on Saturday.
What happens on Saturday?
I kill you.
Is the exact opposite
Saturday,
of that plan.
buy the monkey bars, you're dead.
Yeah.
And she's like, what?
Because had he not tipped his hand that something was coming, you know, there wouldn't have been Xander, I'll whittle steaks.
Well, we'll help.
Yeah, I'll whittle steaks.
And I can research stuff.
And while I'm whittling, I plan to whistle a jaunty tune.
And Cordelia, also whittling steaks, which is like, is her actually, like, you know, first time being in the Scoobies, I'll say. Like
hands-on.
She's actually there doing something that's, like, you know, not really helping her in any way. So that's a full commitment.
And she's not in danger, per se, directly
Exactly.
this time.
That's why it's
now
her joining the group.
Yeah. But she's still, like, already dressed up and, like, complaining, like, my hands are cramping. This sucks. Why am I doing this? It's great.
But she is a Scooby.
Yes.
There's a funny little inside nod to the Scoobies where we have Willow in a Scooby-Doo shirt in this episode.
I see.
And I thought that was funny.
When did the Scooby thing happen?
Oh, early on.
Did fans just call them that? Was that just the thing?
The show has referred to themselves as Scoobies.
In the show?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe like
I don't know what came first, the chicken or the egg,
Yeah.
if fans said that first, or if the show said it, because I don't think I was like in the like scene talking outside to people like I'm on Buffy.net or whatever.
On the Usenet dial-up thing, yes.
Not until 2005 did I see my first Buffy convention.
Ah.
I won a contest.
A trivia contest,
I
right?
did.
Yes.
I won $100.
Worth every penny.
Bought a bunch of merch.
Put it right back into the community.
I did.
Come on, one dance. You've been studying nearly 12 minutes.
No wonder my brain's fried. Come on.
So, you know, Buffy's fighting this guy outside. She doesn't have a steak on her because she ran out kind of quickly, and she yells like, "Give me a steak!" And, like, you know, Xander runs back in. He's fumbling with her purse. It's like, yo-yo, tampon, a steak.
Good. Runs out. Yes.
I was like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Just like a big child.
Oh, yeah. No, Xander's a big child. Mm-hmm. He gets scolded early on for saying, nothing bad's going to happen. And they're like, what are you doing?
As long as nothing really bad happens between now and then, you'll be fine.
That was a little awkward, but still.
Well, he broke, like, horror movie rules, like #1 there. Living on the Hellmouth, he should know better.
Yep, that's what I thought of. Buffy does, like, a similar thing where she's like, okay, I have to nail this parent-teacher conference. I have to study for my French. I have to do that. I have to do this. Okay, I think I can handle it as long as I don't have to. Buffy! And she's like, kill any vampires. Fuck. Like, what am I doing? Oh, no,
what are you gonna do?
What's the mission? Damn.
I can study and party and do parent-teacher night and make my mother proud as long as I don't have to fight vampires.
Because work comes a calling. You have to answer the call.
Yeah, so aside from this parent-teacher thing, she's also now tasked with like setting up the whole event with some idiot who's not really helping her at all.
Which is a very sitcom, goofy thing. That's why I called it like the B plot. But they treat it well and they reintegrate it because that chick Sheila, I think, ends up playing a role later. But yeah, the whole thing of like, you two are gonna, you two who like definitely, like you're not enemies, but you're like those fighting fish where you can't be in the same cage. Like you're like my worst students. You have to work together to do, like he's literally like setting them up to fail. I feel like, just to be like, I want to expel both of you, and this will be fun for me. Here you go. Ruin this event that I'm like depending on.
It's weird to say like do this thing to gain my favor, and I won't like fuck you. But then like that first chance, he's like, Mrs. Summers, your daughter's a bitch.
We gotta talk.
I'm like, what was she did a really good job as far as I understand.
Exactly.
Painted a banner and all this jazz.
Hi, I'm Joyce Summers. I'm Buffy's mother.
Principal Snyder. I'm afraid we need to talk. My office is down here.
I love when they're giving her like like the 411 on who like, Sheila is, and Buffy Willow's like, oh, I once watched out for her while she was smoking.
I was lookout.
I'm a rebel.
Yeah, I'm a rebel.
She was already smoking in 5th grade. Once I was lookout for her.
You're bad to the bone.
I'm a rebel.
Yeah, like Alice Hannigan doing great in this episode. Several funny things, looking like a snack. Like several good stuff happening.
Looking like a snack.
Looking like a snack. Yeah.
My default like Willow image in my head is always like the little like braided hair, the like overalls with some funky colored shirt underneath. I was sad when she grew up taste wise.
I was sad when she moved on from that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I thought it might even be building to something because you don't actually see the principal talk to Joyce. So I thought she was like, young lady, come with me or something. The principal said such nice things about you. I'm so glad you turned things around. Oh my God, this is great. I thought like that might be happening because it was so like against what I thought it was going to be, where he's like, we have to talk or something. I'm like, oh no, what are you setting up? What's happening? And then he just literally said, she sucks. You're like, oh no, what's going on?
In the car, now.
And they start to leave, like, she's like, we're leaving, as if they're leaving early. But, like, literally moments later, the principal starts turning lights off. Like, okay, get out, everybody. It's over.
The whole event was just staged for Buffy's benefit. There's no real reason to have this event. There's no other parents.
I just think that's so funny. There's no announcement. Like, the lights don't like oh, we flicked them a couple times. All right, people, wrap it up. Head out. Grab your punch. Let's see you later. Just lights off, lights off, lights off. Vampire assault.
Grab a set of keys out of the bowl on your way out. You know the drill. Let's go. No, yes. And then so I hinted at this before, where I'm like, I'm so glad Spike's being smart, because most villains are just like, I'm gonna vamp out and break down the door and start punching you. And I'm like, that's his master plan, is I'm gonna warn you, and then I'm gonna show up where I said I was gonna be or whatever, or find you that.
Well, slightly
that
before,
night.
actually.
Yeah. I'm gonna show up and be like, it's time for the thing, and
I
kill you.
believe this is Thursday.
Just make sure everything is perfect on Thursday.
When he said Saturday.
Ah, okay. So that's his brilliant plan.
What can I say? Good Mike.
Impatience.
I will still break down the door, but I'll show up early. That way you won't be ready for me. You'll think you have 2 more days. And no.
Honestly, had Angel not interfered, it may have worked.
It's
hard to say.
That's my ... on my next line of my notes, and it kind of works. Like, that's all we had to do this whole time. Like, the Martian Manhunter dude from X-Files, was like unsuccessful, but Spike and his ragtag crew can be successful when Buffy has like more support and more whatever, more warning. Yeah, whatever. Fine.
But like, it is interesting. Also, the fact that Joyce is a badass.
Oh yeah.
And comes in, swings axe on the Spike's head.
You get the hell away from my daughter.
Unfortunately, hits him with like the blunt end. But she's not a murderess. Whatever.
Yet.
No,
I kind of hated that scene too. Not really, but it's making me question, like, what even is a vampire in this universe? Because like to me, a 200-something-year-old vampire could go like, and just like they'd both be dead or something like that. Like he'd be so fast or so like aware of things.
They're not really faster than your average person.
Right, it seems like
I believe it's written that they're stronger than humans. I think it's like 4 times stronger than your average human. But your average human's not very strong. Right. So like they're still within capabilities of what a human strength could be.
And Xander has punched them and gotten away from them and stuff.
We saw almost on equal footing Xander fighting alongside Angel outside. And like granted, Angel did save Xander's butt in this one, but Angel at one point did put his neck on the line. So we'll say even Steven.
No, they're all good in my book. It just, I have to recalibrate because to me, like the vampires of like other movies are like these forces to be, like no human could ever hope to even be in the same room during a fight.
These are almost just people that can also die by more things.
Okay.
Because like people would die from a stake to the heart anyway.
Yes.
But light don't hurt us.
Exactly.
But it hurts them.
So these are just like, well, you know, not even well trained, but like really, you know, prime specimen humans with like a very strict schedule.
Pretty much.
That's what we're talking about here. And a very specific diet. So basically Jason Momoa, The Rock, we're talking about that now, right?
But so while their timeline of day to day is definitely strict, they can be very loose over long periods because they don't have shit to do.
They don't have a ticking clock.
Exactly. Yes. So like they're still, I think a preferable thing to be.
No, I would take that deal even if it's relatively shitty. I'm just saying, like, you know, I gotta like work in the, because like, not that I forgot, but I just thought, well, like Buffy's super powered, and this whole time I've been like, how is anyone else gonna do anything else? But we've talked many times now. They're all holding the door while the vampires are there. They're all like able to like knock something over and run and get away, and I'm like, what? They should just
TV
break
show
through
inconsistency.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm saying.
It gets wilder as the show goes on.
Of course.
But not important.
So we ratchet up the stakes here.
I just love the little combination of like we have Willow and Cordelia in a closet. We have Giles, Xander, and Miss Calendar in the library. We got Buffy, her mom, the principal, and a couple of teachers and everything. And like they all have to figure their way out.
Those people, what do they want?
I didn't get much of a look, but is there something wrong with their faces?
Yes. PCP.
Yeah. We get like locked down, we're separated, right? We have to do the whole deal. I loved the little button, or like one of the few buttons where it was like, because Will and Cordelia don't know that
they don't know it's over.
Safe. They're just stuck in the bathroom still.
No, the closet.
I'll never be mean to anyone ever again, unless they really deserve it, or if it's that time of the month.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, they're stuck in a little room somewhere.
Yes. While Cordelia's praying, I'll be a good person, I'll do this, I'll do that, ask for Advil, and I need Advil, hey!
Wait a minute.
Ask for some aspirin.
And can you please send some aspirin? Hey.
Yeah, lame joke.
Cordelia had a good one in the library when she was doing her thing. She's cutting a steak, and she's like, can we take a break yet? Even slaves get paid minimum wage.
Yeah,
like,
even slaves get paid
minimum wage.
Was locked up in that library working on your weapons. Even slaves get minimum wage.
There's a certain point too where like I think she says something like, based on the look on her face, I think you'll still be grounded by our 10-year like reunion. And then Willow's just like, Cordelia, have you tried the punch? The like nasty no sugar lemonade.
Exactly.
just lemon juice with ice and like a fucking thing.
There might not even be ice.
Yeah. True.
Lemonade. I made it fresh and everything.
How much sugar did you use?
Sugar?
I just picture warm piss water.
Yeah. Willow, why'd you make me drink that? No, I don't know. No reason. You don't like it? Weird.
Press deliver.
You haven't seen the boiler room yet, and that's really interesting, what with the boiler being in the room and all.
Something else good with Willow that I liked a lot was when Angel shows up and they're talking or something, and Buffy's like chastising him, like, "Come on, you've been dating like for over 200 years, and you can't take a hint." And then Willow's like, "Wow, 200 years of dating, even like 2 dates a year, that'd still be sorry, fuck," and the whole thing.
2 centuries of dating. If you only had 2 a year, that's still like 400 dates with 400 different.
Again, to like we are like rubbing salt in like the wound here. I see why fans may have an issue with like their age difference because the show keeps shoving it into your face. I assumed after all those conversations like 1 or 2 episodes ago, they were just gonna drop it and be like, they're in love and like whatever. But like apparently not. It's still like a hot topic coming out here.
Yeah. I like in the midst of like I'll say it's like an undercover-esh plan where Angel is pretending to be jealous as he can go to talk to Spike. He has Xander there and doesn't tell Xander about the plan. He kind of just grabs him by the neck and throws him into the thing.
You had to have an honest reaction.
He's like, I knew it. You're just like a liar man.
Undead liar guy.
It's like something like that.
I knew it. So like his delivery there made me think Xander did know, or like
no,
was
he had
playing
no
along.
idea.
It was so weird, yeah, because I was like, it was like a roller coaster going down the way. Yes.
Oh, fantastic.
That's a great scene, and it's so confusing. Yeah. I actually Googled, "You were my sire, Spike," Buffy, whatever.
Sure.
Just to verify that his next line is "My Yoda, man."
Yeah.
He says, "You were my sire,
well,
my Yoda."
You were my sire, man. You were my Yoda.
That's like almost an important line here. Like
it gets brought up again. Xander's like, "What is a sire?"
What's a sire?
And I'm like, what does that mean?
So a sire
is he your vampire father?
A sire traditionally is someone that has summoned, has brought you into the life,
the thing.
But can also be someone who was like the father figure, mother figure of you when you came into the life.
Surrogate, whatever.
So I think it's important when he does say like my Yoda, that pulls it back to be like, oh, okay, you were my mentor.
Because Yoda did not lay an egg that Luke hatched out of. Okay?
Were you there?
Were you there? They lay eggs.
It was a big egg.
No,
Leia was
there was
too.
an expanded universe book where it's no, I have no idea. But yes. That's why I was like, wait, what does he say there? Because I was like, this is a bombshell. This is amazing. Yeah. Also, they don't keep in touch. She doesn't know that he's not Angelus. Is that how you took that, or what do you mean?
Well, he did not know, no.
Okay.
But he knew, like, whether, I can't recall if it's through the grapevine he knows that he's not actually him, or if he could just sense, like, you're double-crossing me, you putz.
You think you can fool me?
Oh no, like the way the whole thing plays out is crazy because they get so close. And again, in my head, a vampire within like whatever distance could just instantly kill a person. So I'm like, this is such a dangerous plan. What are you doing? Right?
It was certainly dangerous for Xander.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Then it could just be like this red cloud as like Spike, goes to hit Angel instead, right? And just like destroys him or whatever. But I guess that's a left, and he's like, leading with the right or whatever. I don't know. But
I love that
plan.
It starts their fight. Yes. There's a couple great lines from Spike here. I love when the guy's trying to break the door down. He's like, use your head.
Use your head.
And you're picturing the dumb thing because all TV does this, where he would then like smash that guy through the door by his head. Right. But no, he smashes him into like the emergency axe thing. He's like, there you go, idiot.
That was not enough for me because he still takes his head and uses it.
Yes,
so it's
but
still
I love
the same
that
joke.
It slightly sidestepped the expected.
We're adding a layer to the joke.
Yes.
but it's still like the same joke.
But I like that they're also treating those doors like those are thick ass doors, as I've stated before. When like as a display of strength when Buffy breaks through one, like they're very fucking thick doors. So you would need an axe to get through that.
School doors.
I like that. Yeah, school doors are crazy.
Excellent. Where Buffy just like breaks the
door.
door.
Breaking a handle is different. At one point she punches through one.
I know.
That's the true display.
There's a few, right? Because in like episode 1, I think she just goes to do the thing like half the door like breaks or something. It's great. She's constantly like, fuck these doors.
Tell me, who do you think is the most troublesome student in this school?
So once again, just like in an attention to detail sort of way, we see Buffy like pull out a drawer when she said like, after Emma goes, well, wait, so you have a job. And like in that drawer, we see like brass knuckles with like points on them. I'm like, oh, another thing we'll never get to see you use.
Oh God.
I love the
like holy water and like whatever.
Sure.
Yes.
There's a part where Willow sidetracks like, oh, why do they call it a mace?
Why do they call it a mace?
And I'm like, yes, there's mace there. We never see you use those mace. That'd be
mace.
Cool too.
What are you doing?
And then we get Spike talking about weapons. He's like, she's like, do we really need to use weapons? And he's like, they just make me feel so manly.
Like, no,
and I like that line.
I like them. Make me feel manly.
Do we really need weapons for this?
I just like them. They make me feel all manly.
Yeah, it's great. No, it's great. I love that he has that approach and then does drop it. And like when they were like poking into the ceiling to like ferret her out or whatever, like, oh, this is awesome. This is actually like another layer of like whatever.
She dropped something I think is an error. She dropped into the library at one point. The library has like lofted ceilings, and then jumped back into the thing, and I was like, And they do it completely off screen, so you can't see any of it happen, because I don't think you physically could see that happen.
So here's the only way that it makes sense, is that after we threw the master through those like skylights, they like repaired it and built a lower ceiling with a drop ceiling in there.
Well, we know, I would say the more likely thing is we know she can jump like the Tick, so she can jump pretty high.
Like a flea! Yes, so strong, jump so far, yes, good.
I like there's one, like the one of two casualty teachers we have in this episode, or potentially parents. It's hard to say. I think they were teachers though. Is one dude, and Spike has him by the neck, and he's like, "You're lucky. I'm more of a veal kind of guy. You're a little old for me." And then just snaps his neck.
I'm a veal kind of guy. You're too old to eat.
I'm like, okay.
You're too old for me to eat. And goes, not too old to kill. I feel better. Like he does this whole, he has a good like rap to his boy there. Yeah. And like the other vampire looks at him like, whoa, this guy's like something else. And I'm like, you're a murdering machine. What do you mean? Stop.
I think he's afraid. Well, he had just fucked up and he took it out on that guy.
Okay.
And he's like, okay, I feel better. He's like, okay, good, he feels better. Okay. I thought he was gonna do that to me.
This dude's crazy. I don't like rolling in this guy's crew now.
I do dislike how the vampires do like just like hold the line kind of thing outside. Like the one that kills the teacher that was escaping.
Get it!
Why didn't he come in the window and kill everybody? I hate that.
Yeah, I did like a double take because Joyce like pushes everything back into place and closes the window, and I'm like, whoa, Mama, stop doing that. You're in danger, please. The window's a dangerous place. We just established that. But maybe they're eating the other guy or whatever. I don't know how this works.
Someone's in the ceiling.
Something else I wanted to loop back on real quick was that Sheila thing.
Sure.
I really like a few things here. When she's walking with her like dudes she's gonna fuck that night or whatever, and they disappear.
The Thor-esque character.
Yeah, and they
no, those two guys.
You guys weren't lying about having a Cadillac, were you? Because I'm crazy about a cat.
Yeah.
Not the one outside the school.
No. That guy's a hero, and he deserves everything.
Sheila. Well, Sheila's definitely intense.
No.
That guy's a hero.
That guy's my hero. Because he's like,
how Spike just like whips them back out.
Snatches them away, but like the camera does its thing or whatever. It's not great, but it's good. And I'm like, this is better than usual. And even the way he's sweet talking her, I'm like, is this just his natural charisma, or does he have a glamour buff or something?
He's a very charismatic guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
especially to a certain type of female.
Exactly, right? So I'm like, this is a nice little, this is cool here, right? And then later, there's that scene where he's like, please eat something, and just like shoves Sheila at Drusilla, and I'm like, oh man, okay. I think that scene would have been a lot powerful if you didn't see Sheila in the corner until later.
Yeah, I agree.
Like they kind of worked that a little bit, but I still think the payoff is great, where he's like, because like that's something like your mom would say, please eat something, look at you.
No, it would have worked twice as good, because then later on you wouldn't have known she was a vampire when she turned. Well, and that could have been interesting. There's some weird guys outside. What's going on? I'm late.
Sorry, I'm late. There's some really weird guys outside.
So I would have liked him shoving her still to be like, eat something. Oh my God, it's a person, right? But then
and not see who it is. Yeah.
Well, no, show Sheila there, but don't show the part after that where I'm saying like the reveal of I told you eat something and it's a person. I'm like, yay, right? The problem is that they show Drusilla literally biting Sheila, which kind of ruins later when you're like, the ambiguity here of what's happening.
I don't know. I think that shot should have played out. You can say eat something, throw it from behind so you don't see who it is. Then later on you can still have the reveal of like, oh, you're a vampire. Like
Sheila was kidnapped. I'm not saying they should have hidden that she was a vampire, right? Because that if they were trying to hide that, they did an extremely poor job. Sure. They show her getting bitten by a vampire.
But you could have been. Yes. Because you don't know how devious this guy is, and she seems like a type that might be like a familiar that might work for him to get turned into a vampire. I think it could have played a couple angles there because she's already this gothic bad girl who stabs teachers.
Right.
She might like the idea of razor blade smiles.
There's a lot of stuff we could do there, no. But I liked her coming back and being a vampire, and I believe she gets away.
Yes, she does.
Ooh, might come back. Won't look at you.
So the last thing that I'd want to talk to you about this episode is I love that Buffy gets in Snyder's face and he's like, no, listen to me.
They will kill everybody in this room. Nobody goes out, nobody comes in until I say so. Do you hear me?
And like, there's all these things where it's like, why would I ever listen to you? Yeah. Like, we know people don't listen to like the government, let alone like a small child who is under your care and supervision.
This is my school. What I say goes, and I say this is not happening.
Well, then I guess the danger's over.
So it's very strange that like this group of people like listen to her and her mom's like, no, you heard Buffy, we gotta do this thing. Like picture like when you were like 16 in high school, if your mom was around and something dangerous was happening, she'd be like, no, you're not going. At least
she tries
that. Fight.
She does.
Very minimally for
because
what the situation and stakes actually are.
Buffy, are you crazy? Look, I know you've been accused of fighting and other things, but those guys are serious. You can't go out there.
I know. That's why I'm going up there.
She doesn't
Especially
know.
not knowing that your daughter has any powers at all.
Stakes, that's a pun. And she tries. I like it because she's so like forceful. And Snyder even says like, I see it runs in the family.
I'm beginning to see a certain mother-daughter resemblance.
Like he's just like, these bitches like bossing me around. And now that I know that Snyder potentially knows that there's more going on, I'm like, okay, good. That's his cover. He's like, fine, bitch, fine. We'll sit here for a little while longer, whatever. And then because he's like, oh my god, the vampires are gonna kill us all. You know, like he knows what's going on.
Did you like how quickly, like, you know, like they're like, oh, quick, go get Angel, and like he does, like he's like, why does Xandros have to fucking like, you know, tuck his tail and go get this fucking guy?
You can get out that way. Find Angel. He knows about Spike. We need him.
Yep. Every time.
They have a rapport now.
I see.
The little buddy. I want the road movie, the buddy cop movie with just
I would have liked a single line of like, I knew you were looking at my neck, like during that part.
Oh! Why don't they do that? That's perfect. Yeah. Exactly.
But that's pretty much everything that happened in this episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Come back next week and we'll talk about episode 4. Until then, let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die to fire, and we'll see you next time.
My guess, 10th high school reunion, you'll still be grounded.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.